Good day everyone, my name is Maria Ravensan Gabriel, third year student from Bachelor of Elementary Education. Today we're going to discuss about the Edgar Dale's Cone of Experience and how the 11 stages are applied in teaching and learning. Before we proceed to our discussion, let us know who is Edgar Dales. Edgar Dales was born on April 27, 1900 in Benson, Minnesota, and was an American educator and a proponent of Dale's Cone of Experience. And also known as a learning pyramid, he made several contributions to audio, visual instructions, including a methodology for analyzation of the content of motion pictures. And now we already know who is Edgar Dales. Now let's talk about what is Dale's Cone of Experience. Dale's Cone of Experience was first introduced in the Book of Dales in 1946. And it is a visual model that is composed of 11 stages, starting from the concrete experiences at the bottom of the cone. Then it becomes more and more abstract as it reaches the peak of the cone. According to Dale, the arrangement in the cone is not based on its difficulty but rather based on abstraction and on the number of senses involved. The experiences in each stages can be mixed and are interrelated that foster more meaningful learning. But before we proceed to the 11 stages of cone of experience, let's recall the 5 types of senses. The first one is smell. Smell or olfaction is the ability to detect and identify airborne chemical molecules. The nose contains specialized receptors that react to those molecules, allowing us to perceive odors. And the next one is the sight. The sight or vision is the ability to detect light and interpret images. The eyes convert light waves into electrical signals that the brain processes to recognize color, shape, depth, and movement. And the third one was hearing or audio. The ability to perceive sound through detecting vibrations or sound waves. The ears capture these vibrations and convert them into signals that the brain interprets as speech, music, or noise. The fourth one is taste, and its ability is to perceive dissolve chemical substances in food and drinks. The tongue's taste buds detect 5 basic qualities like sweet, sour, salty, or bitter, and umami. And then the last one is the touch or sense of touch. We use our hands to perceive physical sensations such as pressure, temperature, or heat and cold, pain, and texture. This sense is distributed throughout the skin, which is the largest sense organ. So now we're already done to test our knowledge to recall the 5 senses. Now let's proceed to the first stage of Dale's Cone of Experience. It is verbal symbol. Verbal symbol represent the most abstract level of learning where knowledge is conveyed through words, formulas, and written or spoken language. In fact, these verbal symbols provide no visual representation or clues to their meaning. And the best of example for this is the flowchart, flip chart, and the chalkboard. To easily to understand the verbal symbols, it is more on speaking. Written or sign that represent a particular idea, object, feeling, or action. They are the core components of all human language. And now let's proceed to the second stage, which is visual symbols. Visual symbols are the representations of direct reality which comes in the form of signs and symbols. And the examples are drawings, sketches, cartoons, comics or strip, diagrams, charts, and graphs, maps, and posters. Visual symbols is opposite to verbal symbols. Like what I've said earlier, verbal symbols is more on speaking, while the visual symbols is more on giving a visualization or a pictures. Now, you already know the difference between visual symbols and verbal symbols. Now, let's talk about the third stages of Dale's cone of experience, the still pictures, radio, and recordings. It is a category of abstract sensory specific media within Edgar Dale's cone of experience. They represent learning through observation and listening, providing only visual or auditory input without motion or direct participation. In this stage, we combine the two senses, which is seeing and hearing. And of course, we also combine the two stages or the two previous stages, which is visual symbols and verbal symbols. And now let's proceed to the fourth stage. It is motion pictures. Motion pictures are positioned as a dramatized experience or demonstration located between more concrete experiences and abstract symbols. They provide a sensory and observational learning experience that is more effective than still images or recordings alone because they incorporate time and space. And for the fifth stage is exhibits, a level in Edgar Dale's cone of experience that falls between demonstrations and field trips, providing learners with displays like those in museums or galleries. They are less abstract than visual symbols like graphs or charts, but more so than direct experiences such as making a model. Exhibits can be interactive, encouraging, and a mix of observation and participation, and use of a variety of senses. The best example for exhibits are museum displays, posters, public arts installations. In this stage, we use our two senses, the sense of sight and sense of touch. And the sixth stages is field trips. It is an hands-on, real-world experience that uses multiple senses and is placed at the bottom of the cone because it is the most concrete, involving direct, purposeful actions by the learner. The seventh stage was demonstration. It is a visual and auditory experience where an instructor shows a processor skills, helping to move learners from more concrete experiences toward abstract concepts. While it is more concrete than reading or listening, it is also more abstract than direct or hands-on participation. For the eighth stage of Dale's cone of experience is dramatic participation. Is a level in Edgar Dale's cone of experience that involves role-playing and acting out real-life situations learned through active involvement. It is placed above more abstract learning methods like demonstrations and below direct experiences, offering a more concrete way to understand complex situations than simple observing. It is more on acting things out like doing a skit, role playing, or putting on a play, or even a puppet show. And the second level is called contrived experiences, which focuses on the editing of reality. At this level, teachers use representative models and mock-ups to provide an experience that is as close to reality as possible. This can make the concept easier to grasp. After all, some realities are far too complex to take in all at once. As such, contrived experiences are imitations that sometimes teach better than the realities they imitate. Contrived experiences are very practical and make the learning experiences more accessible. After all, they have a concrete nature that permits easy visualization and helps to foster a better understanding of the concept at hand. And on top of all that, contrived experiences are easier to manipulate or operate. And lastly, the direct purposeful experiences. The bottom levels of the Hill's cone of experience is also the least abstract. Direct purposeful experiences are hands-on activities that grant us responsibility for driving a specific outcome. We are active agents in the learning experience. In a sense of direct purposeful experiences are an unreached version of life itself. These rich, full-bodied experiences can be considered the bedrock of all education. After all, learners can see, handle, taste, feel, touch, and smell these experiences. As such, as this level, learners use more senses in order to build up their knowledge. Learners learn by doing tasks themselves. As a result of learning happens through actual or hands-on experiences. That's all for today. Thank you so much.